So we are on to our third rapid fire styling scene. And for this scene, we're gonna focus on some miniature keychains. So this one says Self-Love Club, and it's got like a nice hot pink tassel on the end of it. And then we have a nice pink one with a disco ball heart and then a red pom-pom. Now I have 2 of these and 1 of these. And then we also have like some really cute flat diamond hearts. So I'm thinking that I may do a quick orientation of these kind of styled organically, and then in Photoshop later, I think I may duplicate some of these just to create an interesting creative pattern. So that's something that you can do when you don't have a lot of products to work with or a lot of props to work with, especially if you're going to be doing something on a seamless, simple backdrop. So we're going to be shooting everything on this nice blue colored backdrop, this foam core. Again, you'll see me working with a lot of these. I use these as bounce cards because they are white on one side, or I use them as photography backdrops. So I really just want to do a nice cropped close-up shot of a mixed message of Self-Love Club, some of the hearts, and then like the disco ball heart with the pom-poms. So again, this is going to be a fairly simple, quick styling scene. It's something that you can do at home. You can just kind of toss things on a surface, take a snapshot, see how it fits in the crop or the frame, and then move things around. It's very good practice to figure out how to place things, where to place them, making sure you have that good balance of negative and filled space. Again, I talked about that earlier. And the more you do it, the easier and more comfortable you'll be when you're styling. So let's get started. Okay, so again, like I mentioned before, we're doing a simple flat lay. The lighting has not moved from the other 2 styled scenes that we've done. So what I'm gonna do is continue on using the same lighting that we have. Again, it's just a 1 light setup using bounce cards to fill in the light. So let's just place some things here. Let's place things in an oblong shape. Let me work with the center of 3. So because these are the same, I think I want to break the space up with the pink one in the middle, and then maybe have the hearts kind of centered around. So I'll do 2 different versions of this styled scene. I think I'll do all 3 within the scene with the hearts, and then I'll do another shot of the scene without the hearts, so that if I want to go in and make a full scene of multiple keychains, I'll have the space to do that when I composite. So I'm just gonna fill in the scene a little bit more. Now I didn't mention, I got these keychains maybe 2 years ago at Target, randomly around Valentine's Day. They always carry a lot of like cute Valentine's Day themed things. So I accumulate a lot of props when I'm just out and about shopping. And then I think about how I want to photograph them later. So I've been sitting on these props for a good 2 years, and I'm just now using them. So we have a quick style scene. Let's see what it looks like. Let me make sure it's right underneath the camera. I'm still tethered, shooting from above. So we're in live view right now. I'm gonna clip here so that I can zoom in and focus. Again, when you're shooting anything with writing or graphics, you want to make sure that the focus is on all of the writing so that everything is crisp and clear. Because at the end of the day, what good is it if you have a nice, beautifully shot photo, but then none of the wording is legible? You always want to make sure that you're checking off all of those boxes before you finish styling as well as photographing. Now, early on in my career, I would always make the mistake of thinking that I got the shot without testing, zooming in to make sure everything was crisp and clear. Now, I was able to fudge a few things in Photoshop later on, but you want to make sure that you are shooting everything you can. That old saying, measure twice, cut once. I always measure twice and I cut once, meaning I always photograph the scene multiple times, checking just to make sure I have everything captured before I move on to the next, because a lot of my styled scenes are not as simple as this. Sometimes they're very intricate. So if I take the photo thinking that I captured what I needed to, just to check later on and realize that something wasn't clear or something is out of focus, it's very difficult to reset up everything the way that it was before. And oftentimes I may not even have that option. So definitely make sure that you're checking out everything when you're photographing your products. Okay, so as of right now, we just have a lot of things happening. So I think I may want to bump up the ISO from 320 to 400 just so that we can see the difference. It's a little bit lighter. I think I need to add a bounce card here to bring in more light. But before I do that, I kind of want to change up the composition a little bit because it's looking a little bit bland. And again, I'm basing everything off of feeling. If y'all saw these images and you're thinking, that looks great to me, you know, to me, it doesn't feel finished. Like, again, it's a thing. It's a thing with me. I'm like, no, this has to lay a certain way. It needs to look organic, as if I just toss them onto the surface, but it doesn't need to look overly styled. So I'm constantly battling, trying to figure out that space in between to where it looks simply styled, not too overdone, but looks visually appealing at the same time. Now, no one's gonna toss something and have it magically lined up like this, but to me, when you can find that right balance and get that perfect scene, it just makes it more visually appealing and just kind of emphasizes the lifestyle and likability of the image. But that could just be me in my head. I love focusing in on that, and once I get that, that's when I feel like I'm finished. So let's see what that looks like. And so yeah, I'm thinking I like this composition a little bit better. So I'm liking the keychains thus far. I don't know if I'm liking the hearts as much. So I think I want to start off with a clean slate of just the keychains and then maybe add in the hearts little by little. So let's see what that's looking like. Okay, so as of right now, we have the 3 keychains in the mix. So I'm liking it. Let me just kind of turn this just a little bit. Let's see what that does. I think I like that a little bit better. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so when you're working with like 3 items, I tend to work with a lot of odd numbers because you can feel more of the scene. There's more balance in between the product and the space around it. And so typically when you're styling something, you want like a S pattern, like a zigzag. And I don't think I have that. Like when I'm looking at negative space, the negative space is going in, out, in. And so I'm thinking maybe I need to have them in a little bit more just so that the products themselves are doing an S shape. But I don't want it, again, I don't want it to look too styled. So let's see. Okay, I think I have the orientation that I want. Yes, I think I have the orientation I want, so I will not be touching these anymore, I promise. Okay, so the lighting is good with this, and so I'm gonna mark it. With Capture One, similarly to Lightroom, you can color code your favorite images and you can also rate them. So I'm gonna rate this image of just the solid, simple image of just a keychain, just so I have it. So if I wanna do a composite and like double up and make more of them, I can. Because I may want more of the pink disco ball heart keychain within the scene as well. So I have that shot. And now I'm just gonna add in a mixture of the large and small hearts, large and small red hearts. So I'm gonna add them little by little to see what I like. And I think I may focus on having them turned different ways just so that it's not super structured. So let's see where that takes us. Okay, and I think I need one more small one. If I can grab it, like maybe right in the middle, interacting. Yeah. Okay, let's take a screenshot. Let's take a snapshot of that, test shot. Okay, I'm not mad at that. Let me crop in just a little bit more. I think it's cute. Let me add in the bounce cards so that we can see what that looks like. And one thing I forgot to do was photograph just the keychains by themselves with the bounce cards. But luckily, I haven't touched anything. So once we get the shot fully styled with the amount of hearts that we want in the scene, I'm gonna mark that and then take the hearts out and then take another shot of the keychains with the bounce cards to get the full fill light. And so once I have that, I'll pop them up on the screen so you can see that as well. But that is something that I forgot to do So you have to make a mental note of everything. Let me grab those bounce cards so that we can see what everything looks like fully filled with even light. Let me add you right in here, and I'm gonna add you here. Now last time I had to block your view to make sure that everything was fully lit. So I may have to do that again, but again, like I said, you'll see the final result at the end. And you probably saw this card slip. They do that sometimes. I've had many a setup ruined because one of my bounce cards fell over. So definitely be mindful of that so that you don't ruin your setup, because sometimes styling a scene can take a very long time. And the last thing you want to do is for everything to fall apart right before you snap that first test shot. Okay, let's see. Okay, so right now I'm blocking this light a little bit with this card. I'm not mad at the strip of light, but that's not really something we're going for creatively today. So we're going for something neat and clean. So I'm gonna move this back a little bit so that we're not blocking any of the light. So make sure the bounce cards are where they need to be. Take another test shot. Okay, so we have a nice fully lit scene. I think I do want to add a little bit more hearts around the corners just so that everything is filled, and then we'll have that final shot. So let me go ahead and add just a few more into the corners. And again, I want to do a nice mixture of small and large hearts. And I'm doing my best to make sure that things are evenly spaced around. And if I run out of hearts, again, you can always Photoshop some more in later, but I definitely have enough. I think I may have enough in the spaces. Okay, let me do another test shot. Okay, so we have the screen filled. I still need a few more hearts on that side. So I think I'll go ahead and add that. One more. Right there. Okay, let me do another test shot, and I think we might have it. And yeah, I think we do have the shot. Now we can remove all of the hearts. And so another quick tip before I move everything, if I wanted to turn this into a stop motion, I could basically remove one heart at a time and take a snapshot in between so that it looks like each thing is disappearing. And so when you combine it all and put it in a timeline on Photoshop, you can animate it to where things appear and reappear. And so that's an additional feature or service that you can provide within your services. That's a service that I provide for a lot of my clients that want a little bit of movement with their content. It's just something simple and extra that you can do that doesn't require a ton of work with the build. And it's also something that you can help to build up your portfolio. Instead of just having a ton of images, think through what you're gonna style, what you're gonna photograph, and while you're styling it, when you're done, think about how you wanna disassemble everything and capture what you're disassembling so that you have that extra content just in case you wanna turn that into a video. Getting more bang for your buck. That's a quick way to build up your portfolio. It's something I wish someone told me, and it's also something I wish I would have thought of early on, because it took me quite a while to build a portfolio surrounding stop motion videos. So now that I have all of the hearts, these things are hard to pick up because of the flat surface. They're sticking to the blue surface. Okay. So let me go ahead and grab this last final shot of filled in keychains with the bounce cards. Okay, so we have the final shots of everything. I'm gonna go ahead and pop up those images now. Again, this is very good practice for beginners. If y'all are new into product photography and you're looking to figure out how to style, how to place things, just do something. Just grab a surface, grab a product, grab your camera, and just put it on the surface. Now, I hope that by watching these quick rapid fire scene styling sessions that it looks a little bit more attainable and less intimidating, because at the end of the day, you're just playing around with objects. So that's all for these quick styling sessions. I'm gonna go ahead and set up for the intricate one that we talked about earlier. Again, it's gonna be similar to the intricate styled messy scene that we did for New Year's Eve. So if you're interested in checking out that video, check out my behind the scenes playlist. It has all of my behind the scenes styling videos categorized so that you can quickly look through those and learn a little bit about how I style and maybe test out some of my techniques at home or at your own studio. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this down and then set up for the next one.